Hello, my name is Douglas Bloch. Welcome to the Depression Recovery channel, where each week we talk about practical tools and coping strategies for healing from depression and anxiety. Today is Flashback Friday, a feature in which I republish one of my earlier videos you might not have seen that contains really important coping strategies that will help you attain a better mood. Now here's today's video. The title of today's talk is 5 Things Not to Do When You're Depressed. Point number 1, do not try to self-medicate. When a person is suffering from anxiety or depression, he wants to get out of his pain. One way to do so is to take mood-altering drugs. Depressed people like stimulants. People who are anxious like downers or depressants. In either case, this result is only temporary, and the tendency of a person to turn to drugs or alcohol to improve one's mood is called self-medication. As I said, while drugs and alcohol seem to work in the short run, they do not in the long run. Now, one very interesting example of this is the founder of psychology, Sigmund Freud. Freud was a depressive, and one day he stumbled upon cocaine. It lifted his mood so much that he wrote a whole paper on it and declared to the world that he had found the cure for depression. But unfortunately soon he learned Isaac Newton's law, what goes up must come down. And he recanted his belief and again realized that drugs like cocaine will only work in the short run. Freud soon learned what modern science tells us, that it takes more and more of these substances to get the same effect because the brain adapts to them. That's why many addicts say that they spend their whole life trying to chase that initial high and never can quite get back to that place when they first used the drug. A second thing not to do when you're depressed is isolate. Don't isolate. Unfortunately, this is what many people with depression do. They don't answer phone calls, they don't open their mail, they withdraw from the world. Now, there's only one problem with this, is it violates the basic law of healing from depression, is that we must reach out to others. We cannot heal in isolation. We are pack animals, and we need each other for connection and for healing. Having support is essential to recovery. One cannot overcome the illness of depression by oneself. The weight is simply too much to bear. When I see people trying to beat it by isolating, trying to beat depression by isolating, they inevitably fail. This is why in my book, Healing from Depression, the second principle of recovery I state is reach out to support with others. Conversely, when people take the risk and reach out for support, they open themselves up to a healing force greater than any known drug. Point number 3, don't make any big decisions when you're depressed. As we said in a previous video, depression blocks one's intuition and hinders the decision-making process. Thus, if you're depressed, don't get married or divorced, don't quit a job or take a job, don't buy a house or sell a house if you're in a major depressive episode. Wait until your symptoms clear up and you can see things more objectively. Point number 4, don't neglect your physical needs. Make sure you're getting enough food, water, exercise, touch, and rest. In addition, do not act out through food. There's a great book by Janine Roth called When Food is Love, and she contends that many people turn to food to fill an empty hole in themselves, a lack of love, and depressed people can do the same thing. This, of course, can lead to compulsive eating, binge eating, and an attempt to numb the sad, empty feelings that come with depression. As a matter of fact, about half the people who do binge eating also are diagnosed as depressed. Point 5, don't ask the question, when will this end? The fact is that it's the wrong question to ask because we do not know. No one can know when a depressive episode will end. Imagine you got an exact date and time that you were told the depression will end then. Then the time came and nothing happened. You would feel disappointed and despairing. This is exactly what happened in World War II when prisoners of war were told that the Allies would liberate the camps on a certain date and time. When that did not happen, they became despairing and they gave up their will to live. Neither is it helpful to ask, will this depression end? Because you'll tell yourself it won't end and you'll feel even more hopeless and depressed. So what can you do instead of thinking about the future? You can simply live one day at a time. Instead of thinking about the long term, reduce your life to 24-hour segments. This is something you can handle, getting through each day. These days will stretch into weeks into months, until the nature of your illness repatterns and transmutes and you are in recovery. Just remember, you don't have to worry about the long run. Just think about what is in front of you and you can get through the day one day at a time. This has been Douglas Bloch. I hope you found the information on this Flashback Friday video helpful. If so, please give it a like, as likes draw more and more people to this channel and hopefully some more subscribers. You can also leave your comments in the comments section or email me douglasbloch@gmail.com. If you do want to subscribe to this channel, click on my photo in the closing credits. You'll be taken to my subscribe page. And if you click on the bell to the right, you'll be notified every time I do a new video or live chat. And if you want to contribute to this channel and become a patron, simply click on the Patreon image. You'll be taken to my crowdfunding site. And until next video, I wish you the best in your mental health recovery. Thank you so much.